I really hope everything's all good. So I'm going to do the video I just uploaded because the audio was really bad. So I wanted to redo it, and I also rewatched a couple of my videos. So this is just a chance to redo this. So in my moving video, I did say that I was going to join the gym and all that kind of stuff. So I just wanted to talk about like joining the gym. Basically, like when I moved here, I did want to join the gym, but I was so focused on finding a job. Like I was really focused on, okay, I want to get a job. I want to find something I really love doing. So I went for heaps of interviews last year. Last year was pretty much just me figuring out what I was going to do. Like, am I going to study again? Like, what do I really, like, what career am I going to be like aiming for? Because I really need to figure this out like this year. So yeah, I was last year I was just like looking for work like the whole year. And I did start studying. So I'm now studying a diploma of graphic design, and I am starting a new job soon. I've been waiting to start this new job. I'm so excited for it. It's a graphic designer job at a magazine, so I'm very keen to get started on that. And I didn't end up joining a gym. I don't really have an answer as to like why I haven't. I've just put it off for so long because in terms, I suppose like the financial thing is like a big thing. I also did work a little bit last year, but not like a really short period of time. I did work. I went back to pharmacy work. Sorry, it's so hot in here. I don't have the fan on or the window open just so that the audio is good, because as I said, like the last video, the audio was really bad. So yeah, I'm probably going to end up deleting that video actually because it was really bad. So just a quick update with everything. So last year I got up to 102 kilograms. I went down to 98 by the end of the year. Over Christmas and New Year's, I put on a little bit, I think, probably went up to 100 kilograms. And at the moment I'm down to 94. So I'm super happy. January was a really good month. Like I was really focused. I'm still really focused with my eating. This week I've been kind of a bit slack with my activities. We have been going for a walk most days, so I'm still like happy about that. But yeah, seriously, eating like has been so good. I have gotten to this routine where I don't eat breakfast because I noticed that when I get up, like when I wake up, I don't feel hungry. So I just sort of started thinking like, why am I having breakfast? I know that I've done that in the past, but it's more been about just not having the time to have breakfast. But now it's like I consciously don't have it because it's like I wake up and I just have my water. Like I just want to have water straight away. I fill up on that. It's kind of amazing how if you fill up on water, like if you just make that your mission to fill up on water, you just don't get as hungry. It's honestly amazing. And there have been days where I've sort of thought to myself, wow, I think I haven't really eaten much at all today. Like 100%, like I've had less than like I've had less than 1,000 calories on a lot of days because I'm just not hungry. And it's really hard to kind of really feel worried about that because it's like, well, I'm trying to lose weight, like, and I've got so much weight to lose. Like, does it really matter that much? You know? Because, and it's not like there are days where I don't eat anything at all, but there are days where I have like one meal and it's like, that's all I want. So I don't know if it's just like a combination of really not having an appetite, because I think it's a combination of things. I think my stomach has shrunk a little bit because like last year, you know, I was doing pretty good. Like obviously I wasn't binging, haven't binged in such a long time. Like, you know, for you guys who have been watching like all my videos, like I've done a few on binge eating. So that was a really big problem for me. I'm still doing really well, not binging. I'm really happy with, I'm pretty happy with like last year really, because like, you know, 102 kilograms like at my highest, but that was not from binging or doing anything really bad. Like it wasn't me like being gluttonous. It was just one of those things where, you know, you just eat too much. And it's not because, you know, you're sitting there gorging on food every night. It's just because you're going over your calories consistently, and that just adds up and you end up putting on weight. So that's kind of what last year was like, really. I was just so like, last year was all about where am I going in life? Like, you know, what am I doing? I need to figure this out. I need to get a job, need to or start studying. So that was kind of where my head was at. I wasn't really super thinking of like weight loss, but around October or September last year, that's when I really started thinking, you know what, like this is still really bloody important to me. And it was kind of almost just like, because my habits were so good anyway, because as I said, like I was just trying to be more mindful of what I was eating, and it wasn't necessarily about weight loss. It was just about like, you know, that's just kind of what happened. Like that was just my habit. Like I didn't have breakfast, you know, had sort of lunch, you know, very kind of, you know, small lunch, egg, avocado on toast pretty much every day. I'd have a coffee. That's probably, yeah, I just have a coffee first, like in the morning, and then have that small meal, and then have just a kind of a normal dinner, which is healthy. Like it's a, you know, just a healthy dinner, because it's something that I'm, you know, giving my daughter as well. But eating like that, I think, once I realized, you know, that was kind of the habit I was in, I was like, hey, like I should, you know, focus more on weight loss. Like this is, you know, this is a really good habit to be in. Like I just felt good. And, you know, as someone who was a binge eater, the feeling of control, like when you feel like you are in control of your eating, I don't think there's anything like it. Like for me, as someone who had a binge eating disorder, has had this kind of overeating disorder, just the feeling of being in control, like of your eating, there is nothing like it. I love it. I love that feeling. And I think maybe from the outside, it might be seen as like restrictive and disordered and something's wrong. But I don't know. Honestly, I don't know if it's bad. I don't think it is, because it's just that when you've got so much weight, this is kind of what's meant to happen. You're meant to restrict, like, and there's no other way to put it. Like, you know, you want to lose weight, you want your body to use your fat as energy. It just kind of, it just makes sense, you know, you got to restrict that. So some days, as I said, some days I get to the end of the day and I think to myself, wow, I've really not eaten much, like at all today. You know, I've had like one meal, like this is crazy. But I don't feel like restricted. I am restricting, but I don't feel restricted. And then there are some times where... Okay. So unfortunately, I was going on and on about stuff and the video cut out. So I hope I haven't I don't know what I was talking about, but the last thing that I was talking about is how I've been eating. Like I've just been feeling really in control, and I really think that you sort of do have to get comfortable with like restricting if you are wanting to lose weight. I don't know if I don't think I got into this a little bit, but it cut out, unfortunately. But I was sort of saying how at the moment I just feel like, you know, if you are restricting, it's sort of seen as bad, you know, like dieting. I don't know. This is just what I've noticed. This is just my opinion and what I've noticed. But I've just noticed that lately on social media, like this is more kind of a TikTok thing, I guess, but there's a lot of like intuitive eating where you just kind of eat whatever you want. And I just, you know, I think a part of what I was saying, that the part that cut out, I'm pretty sure, oh, that's right. I was talking about you really, to stop binge eating, to stop overeating, you need to train yourself to be hungry. Unfortunately, I'm just going to check if this is going, because I'm like really insecure. Like I'm worried that it's going to cut out on me again. But you just have to get comfortable with being hungry. There is no other way to do it, actually. I do see like some people with their weight loss journeys, or sort of trying to help other people with like healthy lifestyle and weight loss journeys, and they're sort of saying like, you know, eat these things and you won't feel hungry. as if hunger is like the worst thing in the world. Obviously, if you are actually starving and there's no food around and you live somewhere where there's food insecurity, yes, it is horrible. I'm pretty sure for most people watching this video, like, we will never understand how horrible that is. But it's not the worst thing in the world, like, to feel hungry. If you have if you have a fridge full of food and you are hungry, it is not the worst thing in the world. I think, like, to lose weight sustainably, I honestly think that you sort of do need to just be comfortable with being hungry. I don't think there's anything wrong with that, you know. And I'm talking about more at the start of your weight loss journey, because at the moment, I can't remember if I got into this in that first part before it cut out, but basically with my weight loss journey at the moment, I'm not eating that much because I'm just not hungry. I just don't have the appetite for it. I think, like, my stomach shrunk a little bit, and I think it's like a combination of things, like what I'm eating as well is just making me feel fuller, and drinking a lot of water, it just makes me feel full. It's also summer in Australia at the moment, and we've moved to Brisbane, and it is so goddamn hot here. Like, it is so bloody hot, and I just don't feel like eating when it's hot. Honestly, when it's hot, I'm just like, I feel gross, I feel sticky, it's very humid here. So it's kind of normal for me to not really eat as much in the summer anyway. Even if I was kind of eating whatever I wanted, I would still not really eat as much. And I would eat definitely healthier too, because I just don't feel like, you know, greasy, gross things, because it just makes me feel gross anyway, even if I wasn't losing weight. So what was I saying? But yeah, at the start of a weight loss journey, I think it is important to just let yourself be hungry, because, like, if you go from eating like that much food and then you sort of think, okay, I'm going to like drop it down to 1500 calories, you are going to be hungry, because your body is used to eating like heaps of food, or too much food. Let's just say your body is used to eating too much food. You're going to be hungry. And, you know, I hate to sound like preachy about it, because I'm still learning. I'm still on the journey. I'm very early in my journey, and it's just taken me so long. I think the only reason why it has taken me so long to get to my goal weight, get even close to it actually, the only reason it's taking that long is because of that binge eating disorder, and having to get over it, and just spending the last couple of years developing a healthy habit. It's just it's taking so long. Honestly, it is taking such a bloody long time, but I just feel so good. And it's almost kind of like it's kind of just a reminder to myself, like, hey, you know, you were actually hungry. Like, there were nights when I was hungry, and there were times where I was wrestling with myself, you know, going out, being out and about. All of a sudden pops up in your mind like, oh, you know, we could get something before we go home. We could go through the drive-through, and having that mental battle. It is actually a battle, like, you and this eating disorder. Like, you are fighting it, you know, like, no, I shouldn't. I'll feel so bad if I get that. I'll feel so bad, you know, and you know, you might give in and then you feel horrible, or you don't give in and then it still doesn't go away. It's still like, oh, I could have gotten it. You know, it's so hard. It is so bloody difficult. And, you know, like, there have actually been, I remember, like, this is sort of back at our old house, I remember nights where I was really struggling. Like, I was sort of maybe sitting just like watching TV, and I would be just wishing so bad that I had something in the house that I could eat, you know, or just that mental battle where you go to the pantry and you're sort of looking around and you're like, no. Like, it's just like, it's so hard. It is so hard. So I'm just actually like just so thankful that I'm in a place right now where I do feel in control. I think I've already said, like, you know, I feel in control. I'm just going to check that this is still recording. I'm so paranoid that it's going to stop on me again. But yeah, seriously, I feel so good. Like, I feel really good about myself. When I got on the scales like a couple of weeks ago, just to check how I was going, when I saw that I was like 94.5 kilograms, when I saw that, I literally was like, oh, like I was just so excited. Like, you know, obviously I've lost weight, you know, lost weight, put it back on, lost weight, put it back on, but there was just something about it. Like, I'm not weighing myself every week. I don't actually have a scale at the new house. Got rid of the scales that I had at the old house because, as I said, I got rid of everything, pretty much everything. When I do weigh myself, I weigh myself at my parents' house. So that's kind of good. At the moment, my plan is actually to weigh myself monthly, and I'll just sort of keep track of that. But other than that, I'm not going to weigh myself because I just don't really feel the need to, actually, to be honest with you. I just think it's a lot better to focus on the habits. So that's just kind of where my head's at the moment. I would rather just focus on the habits and just sort of think a bit more, okay, like what activities, you know, am I going to do for the day, for the month, for the week, whatever. And I sort of take notes on what I do every day. So like I sort of have my month view on my diary, and I'll actually write down like yoga. I haven't been very good with it this week, but I was really good in January. Like I would just, it wasn't something I consciously thought I'm going to do that. I just started doing that. I just started writing down like, you know, walk, you know, yoga, roller skating, you know, and I would just kind of note it down on the days that I did that. And I can sort of look back on the January and be like, wow, like I had such a good month. Like I did, you know, you could see like everything I've done. And every day, food wise, you know, calorie intake wise, calorie deficit has been great. I have not had a day where I've worried about going over my calories for the day. I've had a couple of days where I've thought to myself, Jesus, I've not had much at all today. Like I've, you know, definitely under like say 1,000 calories for the day, but that is more about just not feeling hungry, like literally just not wanting to eat, or not even thinking to eat, because, you know, it's just kind of been one of those days where I haven't eaten until the afternoon, have something, you know, get a bit hungry, have something, and then have just kind of a normal dinner, which is, you know, a nice small portion, and realize that, gosh, I probably haven't eaten like much at all today. So, but I'm happy with that. Like seriously, I'm happy with that. Obviously, if that doesn't work, then I will let you know. Like, you know, I'll just do another video saying like, that didn't work, like I need to eat more. But at the moment, I'm really, really happy actually. And yes, so this year, basically my weight loss sort of plan, it's not really a plan, it's just kind of like the habits that I've been doing really, is basically just to eat probably about 2 meals a day, only eat when I'm hungry. That's pretty much it. I don't really have any plan at all. I'm not following any diet. It's pretty much just me using common sense. Like at the end of the day, like if we're really honest with ourselves, like we know what to do. We know we shouldn't follow a diet. We shouldn't do some stupid diet like, oh, only eat, you know, soup, or only do this, only do that. Like that's stupid. Like just eat healthily. We know what's healthy. You know, you go into a supermarket, you know what's healthy, all the fruit and veggies, and like there's meat, everything that is natural, everything that's just natural and it was alive at any time. Like we know like what's healthy, like if we're really honest with ourselves, plants and meat, right? So yeah, that's just me. Like I don't want to make it complicated. And even, yeah, like this year I was thinking to myself, like, I'm back into it. I'm super like, you know, pumped to lose weight this year, but I'm not going to do calorie counting, like fuck calorie counting. I just couldn't be bothered. Like, and I don't think I need to actually. I feel like I've just lost weight. I've just gone on so many weight loss journeys that it's like, I kind of have a pretty good idea of how many calories are in things these days. And I sort of I'm so sick of like life being so complicated anyway, so I don't want to make it even more complicated by having to have these numbers and figure out like how many numbers. Like I just can't imagine ever getting into like calorie counting again, or like macro counting or anything like that. I just could not be bothered. Like Anyway, I like to just have a general idea. Like if like this is something that happened like last night, I knew that I was like under my calories, so I was like feeling fine. And I don't really feel the need to treat myself very often. Like I just don't really feel the need to. Like sometimes I'll let myself have like one Forever share, things like that. Like I'll have one, just because I'm like, oh yeah, that'd be nice. Why not? And I know that I'm under my calories, so why not? Last night, because I bought just as a special kind of summertime. I never do this, but this is kind of like because it's summer, so it's like, oh, we have a little treat for Aisha, like for dessert. So we have like these choc top things. They're just like icy poles, but it's like ice cream with chocolate around it. So she has that sort of sometimes as like a dessert, and last night I had one, so I just checked the packet, like 175 calories, like yeah, that's fine. Like I will have one. And that was like the first time I've had one, and we've had them for like a week. And, before that I got her like icy poles and I didn't have one at all, because I'm just like, well, it's just, I don't know. Like I just don't really feel very tempted. Sometimes like when we're at my parents' house, my daughter will want ice cream. They have ice cream and stuff like that. So I'll, obviously, they'll ask me like, do I want some? And it's just, it's probably just because I'm not like an ice cream person. Like if they offered me like chips, like, a packet of chips, like crisps, if they offered me something like that, it'd probably be a little bit harder for me to say no. But things like that, it just doesn't really tempt me. So, but that's a kind of a mental thing. Like it's good. It's actually good to get into the habit to just say no. You don't really need that stuff at the end of the day. And the problem with like treating yourself is that if it's just this kind of spur of the moment all the time, like I'll treat myself, then you just end up treating yourself too much and you end up going over your calories. It's just not worth it. So another thing a habit that I've developed is just say no. Like you just get into the habit of not, out and about, my daughter wants something, nah. And it's a lot easier to say no to her than to me, to be honest. Although that's kind of tricky because like lately it's pretty easy to say no to myself. It's so easy. Like thankfully, it's easy. It's easy, but you just have to get into the habit. I think you work on the habit, and once you develop a habit, it just gets easier. So honestly, like I'm happy to be back. Like I'm actually really happy. I think the whole thing with not uploading to YouTube is pretty much just because I have been so distracted by other things. But yeah, this is it. This is our new house. I'm just in the study upstairs. As you can see, it is still very, I don't know if like you're gonna see this. Is it still recording? Oh, thank God, it's still recording. But you can see that it's very empty. This is my study, just my computer there. So yeah, it's very basic. I've just been so distracted. Like I haven't even really properly decorated my house yet. Let me know if you want a house tour. There's not much to see, as you can see. There is not much going on in here. Yeah. So I am planning to be more active on YouTube because I'm just feeling so good about my weight loss and I'm excited to share it. So yeah, I really hope that I honestly hope that you guys are doing well. Like I really hope you are doing really good in 2022. I can't believe it's already February, but anyway, I'm going to stop waffling because I'll just keep talking. So yeah, bye guys. Have an awesome rest of your day.